Hello, Home Slices. It's Kiara with Home Slice Adults, me coming to you with another installment of driving home. I was like, what am I doing actually? So, driving home is a series of vlog series that I do pretty consistently for the past number of months. I have been doing a vlog series where I come to you all on Friday. You know, I work a regular work week from Monday to Friday, and there's no better feeling than getting off of work on a Friday, knowing that you don't have to go back to work the next day, and that you can actually chill and relax and not feel rushed to do things when you get off work and whatnot. So this vlog series is again a way for me to stay connected to my channel and to also kind of just talk about how my week has been, whether that's talking about what's going on in, you know, in current news, or whether it's talking about what's going on in my life personally. Okay, there's a car here that I can't like tell what they're doing, so I'm just gonna go around them. Oh, what are you doing? Y'all, these people out here can't drive. What the heck? Anyways, so yeah, I just talk about what's been happening in the media, or I talk about what's been going on in my life. And it's so much easier to talk about what's been going on in my life. Like this huge freaking pimple that appeared on my face this morning. Too old to be getting pimples. Anyways, this week I kind of had like this weird realization, and I want to share it with you all. And you know, I know a lot of people typically don't watch these videos, and that I mostly do these videos to kind of help myself kind of take a do a review of the week. And but if you are watching, tell me what you think. So I grew up in a family, for the most part, where I had a single mother. My mother did get married when I was a teenager, but for the most part, my childhood was being raised by a single mother, who ultimately had 4 kids, including me. And when you have a single household with as many mouths to feed, you know, we definitely were not rich. I don't know if we were technically below the poverty line, because black moms just have a way of like making $1 out of 15 cents, okay? And while it was obvious that like, oh, on you know, Christmas you don't get as many gifts, or you don't always have a birthday party, things like that were more obvious. But on a day-to-day basis, it was, until I got older, I didn't really realize, and maybe even more so until my mom got married, I didn't realize how much a second income impacts the ability of your family to have things, to live in better areas, that type of thing. But the point is, a lot of people have heard of the concept of love languages. There's like a popular book about how people have different love languages, and I think there are 5 of them. So there's quality time, which means that you feel the most loved whenever you spend time with somebody. And I haven't read up on like the actual like book about love languages in a long time, so I'm trying to remember or figure out, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong, trying to figure out if it goes both ways. So for say for instance, if my love language were quality time, does that mean that I feel the most loved when I receive quality time from other people? Or does that mean that I show love by giving quality time to others? Does it mean both? Can you have a love language that you speak Can you have a love language that you can understand, but that you can't speak. Does that make sense? So like, say for instance, if I can understand a little bit of, like, if I can understand Spanish, but I can't speak it. So for instance, maybe I feel the most loved when I spend quality time with others, but I show love by giving words of affirmation, which is another love language. So maybe, if we're talking about romantic relationships, me and my partner spend quality time together. We watch movies, we talk, whatever. And that's how I feel the most loved, when my partner shares quality time with me. But in return, the way I show my partner that I love him is by words of affirmation, telling him how much he is appreciated, how much he is loved, how much he has impacted my life positively. Is your love language the only language that you can understand and communicate with, or can you have both? I hope I'm not confusing y'all, because I understand what I'm trying to say, and I hope it makes sense. Maybe I need to read up on it some more, because I really don't remember how it works. If I feel like people can have multiple love languages, but there's one that stands out more than maybe the others. But I don't know if like giving love versus receiving love can be two separate love languages in themselves. So that's an interesting concept. I'll have to look into that. But in the meantime, I was thinking about love languages, and my love language for, I think, the way I give love and the way that I like to receive love is monetary gifts. And I gave you all the whole spiel about my family not being, the most affluent as a child, is because if my love language is gifts, and my family literally cannot give me gifts, what does that tell? What does that say about my upbringing? Not so much as that, people, your family loves you. My family loves me. I love them. I think for my other siblings and my mom, quality time, I think, was a very big part of their love languages. And I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the quality time that we spent together, but I just think that my love language is different from theirs, and monetary gifts is my love language. And what happens to a person when they want to receive love in a particular way, and their family can't give that to them? And so in my instance, I feel like it's not a complicated childhood, but it's like, I don't want to say, I got to see two opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, my mom's side of the family were like the very blue collar workers, work the same job for years. You don't really like your job, but you do it because you got to put food on the table type of people. These people almost never went to college. They all pretty much graduated from high school, so they at least did that. But there was really no going to college, really no having jobs that you were actually passionate about, versus jobs that you just got and stuck with because you needed to stick with them. But as opposed to my dad's side of the family, which was a little more financially well off. My grandmother went to college, managed to find a career in an area that she liked, and that she was good at. Some circumstances, came around and made it possible for her to grow her, net worth through, different avenues. And now she is a fairly affluent woman and has shared that with her family over the years. And so on my dad's side of the family, we have this legacy of stuff that is going to be passed down to future generations. And then on my mom's side of the family, we have these people who are still kind of like scratching in survival mode. And that's no shade to, either side, because it just made me view things differently. Because as much as I love both sides of my family, there are things that I like and don't necessarily like about the way that things were in my family. And I think having this diverse viewpoint where I'm getting to see things from two different ends of the spectrum, that I get to pick and choose what I want my life and my family to be like in the future, where I can go to college, find my passion, do what I want to do with my life, and have financial stability in a way that one side of my family has never really been able to maintain. And on top of that, I can also have the love and compassion and emotional support and aptitude that the other side of my family had, that was so different from the side of the family that had financial stability. So that's just, a spiel on, how I was brought up and being able to, witness what happens on both ends of the spectrum. But what happens to a person who doesn't receive love the way they want to receive love? Like, it doesn't just apply to money, because the other love languages, there are words of affirmation, where you praise the person you're with, and if the person you're with receives love in that way, by telling them that you appreciate them, by telling them how much they have impacted you, and saying thank you and those types of things, if that's how they receive love, to me that comes off as a love language that is essentially free. All I have to do is tell you how much I appreciate you. There's also quality time. Quality time is another love language that I feel like for the most part is mostly free. But depending on where you are in your life, it may not be possible for you to spend quality time with the people that you love. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. For instance, my mom, growing up, while she was a single parent, had the weekends off, and that's when we spent the most quality time together. But there are some people who are single parents who have jobs that are so demanding, or they have to have multiple jobs to take care of their families, that they don't have any quality time to spend with the people they love, or in particular their children. So what happens to a child whose love language is quality time and their parent can't give it to them? I think that's a really interesting concept of wanting to be loved, knowing how you want to be loved, and realizing that the people that are supposed to love you can't love you in that way. Do you substitute their love through another avenue? There's some more love languages that I'm not really getting to. There's gifts, there's words of affirmation, there's quality time, and I think there are two more that I can't really think of at this moment. It's I can't think of them. If y'all know what they are, put them down in the comments. But once again, this is not to shame either side of my family, because we all grow up feeling like there are things that our family did that we don't want to do, and then there are definitely things that our families do that we really like and that we want to pass down to our own children. And generational wealth is one of those things that I want to pass down to my children. Having known what it's like to struggle financially, when you are struggling financially, you are in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you don't have the luxury to enjoy life. And if I can pass down enough financial know-how, enough resources, make enough investments, whether that's investing in my children's college tuition so that they don't have to go into tens of thousands of dollars of college debt like I'm in right now, then, that's what I plan on doing for my future family that, hasn't come about yet, per se. So this isn't, shade to one side of the family versus the other. I love my family like 100%. But I don't know that if there's anybody that can say that everything that went on in their family, everything that they experienced as a child was, 100% what they wanted or, expected or what they want for their next generation. So I don't want it to come off as if I'm favoring one side of my family versus the other, but just knowing who I am and the moments where I feel the most loved, and knowing that gifts or monetary things are the way that I feel the most love, and just realizing that as a child there was a part of my childhood experience where I just wasn't able to be loved in that aspect. And now that I'm older and we place so much emphasis on like how terrible it is to be a gold digger and how terrible it is to be like for people to just be in love with or in relationship with certain people just for the money. And while I feel like that's mostly true, you shouldn't be with somebody just for the money, but how does that translate for people whose love language is actually gifts? At what point do you stop being a gold digger and you start being the person who just enjoys receiving gifts or feels the most love when they receive gifts from people that they love? I don't know. It's just a interesting concept. So if y'all know the other love languages, put them down in the comments. I cannot think of them right now. My brain is fried, y'all. Ever since I got this promotion, like, was it 6 or 7 weeks ago, I think, I have been freaking out about how much work it is. And I've been coming to grips with a lot of stuff revolving around my job, and maybe I'll talk about that later. But anyways, this is it, y'all. This is my last free weekend before I start school, and today I took a look at my flagged emails, because when I get emails at work and the emails involve like an action item, something I have to do, I flag them, and then I go to all my flagged emails and try to go through and check those items off the checklist. And I was able to check a bunch of stuff off this week, and I took a look at my flagged emails before I left work today, and it was a much shorter list than it had been for the past few weeks. So I feel accomplished. I feel like things at work are finally kind of under control, so that once I get into school, I don't have to stress about work and school at the same time. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Do something fun this weekend. Focus on your love language this weekend. If your love language is quality time, call somebody you haven't spent quality time with in a while, and just call them up to talk to them, or call them up and see if they're able to go out to eat with you, or if you can come over and watch a movie. I'm not talking about Netflix and chilling. That's not the type of quality time I'm talking about. But if you give love by, giving words of affirmation, send somebody a card. Call them up and say, I truly appreciate you for everything that you've done for me. You're amazing. You're wonderful. You're awesome. It's not your birthday, but here are these beautiful words of affirmation. Spend some time this weekend showing the people that you love them, using your love language. So I guess that's my challenge to y'all for this week. All right. Thank y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace out, home slices.